Hey everyone, Mr. Venegas here. Today what we're going to do is we're going to review counting dotted quarter notes. But first, before we start doing this review on how to count dotted quarter notes, I would highly recommend you watch my video on the review of dotted quarter notes and watch how we break it apart and how it affects the counts that we say during our music. Go ahead and watch it right now. I'll wait. Did you watch it yet? Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Okay, hopefully you watched it already. But let's go ahead and let's get started. So here's what I'm going to do. The first time I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to use my finger and help you follow along the music. I'm going to count it for you and you guys can count it with me, okay? So here's the first try. Here's our metronome. Down, up, let's count, go. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, and 3, 4, 1, and 3, 4, 1, and 3, freeze. Great. Now, one big thing I want to bring to your attention, if you look at measure 2, you're going to notice that you see a quarter note tied to an eighth. Just like in that video that I made, this rhythm is exactly what a dotted quarter note is. It's just written differently. So if you look at measure 3, is that the same thing? Yes, it is. It's the exact same rhythm. It's just written differently. So you can see it in different ways. Make sure that you definitely know how many beats these two notes get. So that way, when you time together, you're going to realize, oh, I know how to count that. It's just written differently. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's try this a second time. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, and 3, 4, 1, and 3, 4, 1, and 3, freeze. How'd you do on that one? Hopefully you did just as good or better than the first try. Now, this next try, we're going to do expert mode here, okay? I'm not going to point. You got to train your eyes to move from left to right. You're going to have to train your eyes to move left to right, okay? We got to get used to doing that again. So this time, I'm just going to start you off, and then I'm not going to point anymore. Here we go. Down, up, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, and 3, 4, 1, and 3, 4, 1, and 3, freeze. How'd you do on expert mode? Hopefully you're an expert at counting these dotted quarter notes. Let's try one more line. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at line number 3. Now, if I skim my finger through line number 3, you're going to see the first measure. Okay, we have quarter notes and we have eighth notes. We don't have anything that's tied. Then if we look at measure 2, I see that tie again, the quarter note tied to the eighth, which is worth how many beats? 1.5. It should be 1.5. So we already know that the dotted quarter note is worth 1.5. So if we know how to count the dotted quarter, we know how to count this tied note. So I'm going to keep looking. It's the same rhythm there. Great. I look at measure 3. Hey, look, now I see the dotted quarter note. So I already know I can count that rhythm because it was in the measure before. The last one, make sure that you hold out that half note all the way, okay? That one gets 4 full pulses, okay? So make sure that you have the pulse. Let's go ahead and let's do line number 3. Tapping your foot. Down, up, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 3, and 1, and 3, and 1, and 3, freeze. Great job. So remember, the part that might get a little tricky is you have those upbeats that are right in between the dotted quarter. Make sure that you're tapping your foot so you know exactly where those upbeats are and you'll be ready for the next downbeat, which is the start of that dotted quarter. Let's do this one again. Down, up, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 3, and 1, and 3, and 1, and 3, freeze. Great. This time, we're going to do expert mode again. Make sure you're following along from left to right with your music. Here we go. Last try. down, up, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 3, and 1, and 3, and 1, and 3, freeze. Hopefully you did great on that third line, okay? That third line is tricky. So as we start to see more and more music, the rhythms start to get a little more tricky. You got to make sure you know how to break the notes apart if you don't know how to count it, and also how to count each rhythm, okay? So breaking it apart will make it a little bit easier like it did in the beginning, so that way you can do rhythms like in line number 3. Last one, line number 5. I'm going to scroll through with my finger. Now, I do see a time signature here. Remember, when you see a C, that stands for common time. When you see common time, that automatically means it's going to be 4/4. So that means there's 4 beats inside the measure with the quarter note getting the beat. So let's skim through with our finger real quick. I see quarter note, eighth notes here, great. Now I also see a dotted quarter note right here. I already know how to count the dotted quarter note because it's worth 1.5 beats, right? Now, there's a tricky quarter rest right there. Make sure that you know how many beats that quarter rest gets, which is 1 beat, right? 1 beat of silence. So make sure you don't say anything through that. I'm going to keep looking. Eighth notes. Oh, look, there's that dotted quarter note, eighth note pattern, okay? Everything's a pattern. Once you understand how the dotted quarter note and the eighth note come up in a pattern, you'll be able to count it a lot easier. So look at the last measure. Pretty easy, eighth notes and quarter note. I'm sorry, and half note. Let's go ahead and let's count line 5. Down, up, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 3. 1 and 2 and 3, and 1 and 2 and 3, freeze. How'd you do? Hopefully that one wasn't too tricky for you. I almost got tripped up right here. You have to be really careful, okay? Be ready for that quarter rest, and the best way for you to do that is to look 1 beat ahead so you know what's coming up next. Here we go. Second try. Down, up, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 3. 1 and 2 and 3, and 1 and 2 and 3, freeze. Good job, everybody. And as always, expert mode. Here we go. I'm not pointing this time. Down, up, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 3. 1 and 2 and 3, and 1 and 2 and 3, freeze. Great job, everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching my video on counting dotted quarter notes. If you ever have any questions, remember, feel free to ask, let us know, and we will help you the best that we can. All right, this is Mr. Venegas signing off. Bye-bye. Down, up, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1 and 3, 4. 1 and 3, 4. 1 and 3, freeze. Last try. Down, up, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 3, and 1, and 3, and 1, and 3, freeze. Ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 3. 1 and 2 and 3, and 1 and 2 and 3, freeze.